Welcome back to another episode of the Legacy of Kain timeline. On the previous episode, we went in depth in the origins of Nosgoth, the slaughter of the Circle of Nine by Vorador due to wanting revenge for Janos' murder, Malek's defeat, and his damnation for failing the Circle, Ariel's murder, and the corruption of the Pillars of Nosgoth, and the noble Kain's assassination and wanting revenge against those who killed him, and fueled with a hunger for revenge and his road to vengeance, beginning the events of the Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen.
I awoke to the pain of a new existence, in a dank womb of darkness and decay.
The former nobleman Kain, now a vampire doomed to walk the night for all eternity, awakes in darkness that will be his sanctuary. Kain begins to wander the Mausoleum and starts learning his newfound dark abilities as he walks towards his first spell in his journey that will aid him along the way.
The sanctuary spell enables me to travel to my crypt where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment.
Kain continues down the Mausoleum and learns about the heart that beats in his chest.
Reputed to have been ripped from the chest of the greatest vampire to have ever existed, Janos Audron, the heart of darkness restores vampiric unlife. Life is precious, Janos discovered, as it was torn, throbbing and bleeding from his own body. The world had changed to my eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things.
After leaving Sanctuary, a vampire's weakness starts to affect Kain and becomes such a cruelty he learns that sunlight and rain weakens him. But not only that, the world changed a lot since he died. Meanwhile, Kain encounters his assassins and slaughters them all.
Hunger and weakness are no bar to vengeance's call. I would find my slayers and send them back whence I came. Victor! What trickery is this?
There he is! Kill him, you bastard! Have a seat, sir. If we put you down once, we could do it again.
Their sneering faces were forever etched upon my memory. I had crossed death for this moment. My mind was empty save for one thought. I would kill.
There is no greater release than that from vengeance sated. With my assassins dead, My quest was over.
'Tis not over, Kain. These fools were merely the instruments of your murder, not the cause. Look to their masters, look to the pillars, and gain way to the fortress of the mind.
After avenging himself, Kain heads towards the town called Zeeksturi, where his murder was taking place by his assassins. But the necromancer Mortania's words had Kain question whether his gift was a curse, and if it is, can it be cured?
The necromancer had offered me no warning as to what my resurrection would entail, and yet I must confess in my haste I had not sought one. Was his gift a curse? I would seek the pillars for an answer.
Kain journeys to his next destination, to the pillars of Nosgoth, where unknowingly to him the pillars were corrupted, and also meets a spirit trapped and bound by the pillars for all eternity.
Pillars of Nosgoth. Even in life, few sights have moved me such as this. I marvel that such beauty should grace our dying world.
Nupraptor, your madness has shattered our dreams and blinded you.
Keep your distance, or I'll send you back to hell, spirit!
There is nothing left of me to fear, vampire. I'm only a shadow of my former self, Ariel, the balance of the Circle of Nine. Even so, I can provide the answers you seek.
I seek only a cure.
There is no cure for death, only release. You must destroy the sorcery that is now poisoning Nosgoth. Only then will you realize peace. The Nine of the Protectors of Hope were sworn to use their powers to preserve our world. Now these pillars have been corrupted by a traitor. My murder at the hands of this beast drove my love Nupraptor mad. Now he spreads misery and pain among the Circle, crumbling the very foundation of Nosgoth. You must restore balance. You must right the pillars of Nosgoth.
I care not for the fate of this world.
Then for yourself, Kain. Beware the unspoken.
Nupraptor, with his blind act of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of Nosgoth. Each Circle member was bonded to the pillar he served. The pillars reflected the mental state of their servants, and as the minds of the Circle degenerated and descended farther into dementia, the pillars crumbled. To restore them, each member of the Circle had to die, and the artifact that served as their link to the pillar had to be returned. Only when all the pillars were restored did Ariel claim my curse would end. And so, my hunt for Nupraptor began.
Ariel sends Kain on a mission to murder the Circle of Nine and achieve his lycanthropian form along his journey. Out of the Nine, Nupraptor, the Guardian of the Mind, was the first Guardian that he has to kill, and has to pass through a town called Nasherholm and Statucrow in order to arrive to Nupraptor's keep, and meets with a crazy old man who delivers Kain with cryptic words.
This lunatic was delighted to see me. Perhaps his madness would reveal a greater truth.
The bastards in Stenchencrow shun me as Nosgoth shuns them. I know what it means to be an outsider, vampire. I fear you not. But remember this, there are others who will speak to you, so long as you know how to look.
Meanwhile, Kain arrives at the camp full of gypsies, a group that often tinkers with weary travelers and steal their valuables and kill them. He slaughters the entire camp, and they prove to be no match for the vampire's abilities and drain all of their blood, and then see that Vesser Bonfay was up ahead. where Nupraptor's keep is located, and he even achieved another spell where he can disguise himself as anyone so he can blend in with the crowd.
Nupraptor's keep lay west of Vasabunt. I would seek to cut the cancer from its heart.
Kain used the disguise spell in order to bypass the guards to enter Nupraptor's keep, but also learned that some of the guards and individuals were being mind-controlled by the mentalist Nupraptor to do his depraved biddings.
The mentalist Nupraptor was renowned through Nosgoth for his tricks of the mind, telepathy, and telekinesis. Pilgrims traveled from all across the land seeking the comfort of his lies. I sought not his wisdom, but his life.
Kain finally entered the keep, and Nupraptor was fully aware of Kain's presence.
You dare intrude upon my sanctuary? Can I not mourn in peace? Leave and let my solitude be complete.
Kain encountered one of Nupraptor's slaves and was so catatonic with fear, but he allowed her to speak, telling him how Nupraptor sewed his eyes and mouth shut and mutilating himself due to his beloved Ariel's death and infecting others' minds and the circle with his madness, and gave the servant girl a death out of mercy. And then he saw a possible future for Nosgoth's fate and laughed it off, knowing that the world was doomed anyways with his pessimistic views. And Kain continued walking to the other room where Nupraptor awaits along with Malek.
So, Malek, have you come to fail the circle once more? Leave, Paladin. I do not need your protection. Come, Kain. Come, share my pain.
So, this was the mentalist Nupraptor, this broken, pathetic little man. Yet crippled as he was, he would not yield without battle. Very well, old fool. If it is death you seek, I will not deny you. Perhaps the head of her beloved will convince Ariel that I have accomplished my task.
Kain defeated the Guardian of the Mind and took Nupraptor's head to the pillars to restore the Pillar of the Mind.
I placed Nupraptor's head before the Pillar of the Mind, and watched on as it dissolved into the stone. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus it was restored. Nupraptor was but the genesis. Forever tainted by his madness, the circle was beyond redemption. For them, absolution lay only in death. In me, they would find their deliverance. But first I had to defeat their shepherd. Malek, defender of the Nine, lay in a keep to the far north, past Vasabunt. It was time for me to test the wrath of the Pillar of Conflict.
Death in the circle breathes life to the pillars. For every pillar there is a token. Only with these shall they be restored. But to reach a warrior, you must first breach his ward. Find Malek and destroy him. Only then will the circle fall.
Kain restores the Pillar of the Mind, and it was time to restore the Pillar of Conflict. Kain had to travel back and continue north to Wasserbomb Bay to pass his hometown, Korhagen, and it was not a surprise or welcome he will receive.
Korhagen, my home. The finest city in all of Nosgoth, rich in vanity and conceit. I had no delusions as to the welcome I would receive.
Kain continues down the path, cutting his way through everyone that stands in his way, and encountered lynches who are floating humanoid entities with a demonic headdress that sends bolt of energy at Kain. But they also proved no match for Kain as well. He even encountered undead warriors and collected the bone armor along his journey, until he finally arrives at Malek's Bastion.
Malek's Bastion, perched defiantly on the mountaintop, black as night against the blanket of snow. What manner of man would choose a land so harsh and utterly devoid of life?
Kain arrives at Malek's Bastion, and immediately Malek is fully aware of Kain's arrival and boasting his victory.
I know you are here, demon. The stench of death clings to you. My warriors are but shadows of my skill, child.
Ve Victus! The towering metal structure gave birth to these wraiths. I could hazard only a guess at its function. Fusing the souls of long-dead warriors to their armor so that they may do battle once again. Life without blood? What a travesty!
Do you hope to best me, Kain? Do not worry. Your challenge will not go unmet. Your undeath does not make you immortal, vampire. Come to slay the slayer of vampires, have you?
Malek's warriors proved themselves very formidable, as Kain even had a very hard time against them. And what's even worse is that they provide no blood, which makes the vampires struggle against them. Malek's warriors were nothing but empty shells, shadows of their former selves like him, but they were only alive because of a machine that Kain turned off. And Kain arrives to Malek's chambers where he sees Malek's corpse.
A corpse held court on a tattered throne, grinning malignantly at me through blackened teeth.
It is not often that a man sees his own corpse. It is a sobering experience. But I am far less interested in my own corpse than I am in yours. Prepare yourself, vampire!
Kain does battle against Malek, but the vampire's efforts were futile, as Malek keeps getting back up, and the Seraphim Paladin sends a huge wave of energy blast, forcing Kain to retreat, having no choice to postpone the battle and ask Ariel for further guidance.
'Twould seem Malek's destiny with my blade was postponed. Perhaps Ariel could offer further guidance.
Ah, the Lord returns empty-handed. Does the Seraphim elude you? Very well, go east of Malek's Bastion. The Oracle shall give you aid.
Join me next time on the next Legacy of Kain timeline, episode 3, Visions of the Past and Future and Oneself, where the vampire Kain seeks answers from the Oracle of Nosgoth on how to defeat Malek and meets the Slayer of the Formal Circle of Nine and questions his own morality. If you made it to the end of this episode, then I know you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, and I'll see y'all in the next episode.